Okay, we've all thought about those epic what-if scenarios, right? But what actually happens when you drop the most powerful, pure-hearted warrior from one universe into a galaxy far, far away? This isn't just about who's stronger. It's about what happens when Son Goku's incredibly simple warrior's code runs headfirst into the messy, complex morality of the Force. So let's get into it. This is what happens when a Saiyan meets a Sith.
So, picture this. It doesn't start with some grand, heroic entrance. No, it starts with a crash. A training accident goes wrong, rips a hole in reality, and suddenly, Son Goku is blinking under the harsh glare of two suns on, you guessed it, Tatooine. He's confused, totally alone, and let's be honest, probably really hungry. All right, so our hero, a total outsider, has just crash-landed in the middle of a galactic war he knows absolutely nothing about. Let's see how this plays out. Now, what's really interesting is that right away, the physics of this new galaxy mess with him. His body feels heavier, kind of sluggish. He figures he's only operating at about 85% of his usual power. It's almost like he's wearing invisible, weighted training clothes, but the weight is literally the universe itself. And this really gets to the core difference between these two worlds. Goku's power, his ki, is all internal. He builds it up himself. But the Force, well, the Force is external. It's a cosmic energy that connects everything and everyone. Goku can feel it, for sure, but it's totally alien to him. It's like this huge web of life he's never experienced before. Of course, it doesn't take long for him to get noticed. A squad of stormtroopers shows up to investigate the crash site, and naturally, they just start blasting. All Goku wants is to ask where he is and maybe get some food. So, in classic Goku fashion, he just effortlessly dismantles the entire squad, being careful not to actually hurt anyone seriously. And right then, a rebel ship, probably wondering what all the commotion is, swoops in and picks him up. But that little skirmish sends out a distress call. And that call reaches the one person you really don't want it to reach. This sets the stage for a showdown for the ages, a first meeting between our sane hero and the Empire's most feared enforcer. And this is just peak Goku, right? The rebel crew is probably having a collective heart attack, but he just casually gets on the comms and hails Darth Vader. No fear, no aggression, just pure, genuine curiosity. He doesn't see an enemy. He sees a strong fighter, and that just gets him excited. Vader, who's probably more confused than anything else by this bizarre challenge, actually agrees to a one-on-one fight. And he is not messing around. He comes out swinging with his signature lightsaber form, Gemso. This style is all about overwhelming power, brute force, and vicious counterattacks. It's designed to just crush an opponent's spirit. But here's where we see the difference. Vader is going all out, using the kind of power that has brought down Jedi Masters. And Goku, who isn't even powered up, just dances around him. He's treating this like a light sparring session, dodging these deadly attacks with a smile. Even suppressed, his power level just dwarfs anything Vader can throw at him. And this is the line that changes everything. Goku isn't trying to beat Vader. He is trying to get him to show his true strength so he can understand him. Think about it. For the first time in decades, Vader is facing someone who isn't terrified of him, but is actually fascinated by him. It's a concept that is completely foreign to the Dark Lord. And that's really the heart of the story, isn't it? This stops being about a physical fight and becomes a battle of philosophies. What happens when overwhelming power goes up against overwhelming compassion? Meanwhile, the Emperor is watching all this, and he decides to use this little duel as the perfect bait. He springs a trap meant to crush the rebel leadership once and for all, and in doing so, forces a choice that will change the galaxy forever. So, just as the rebel fleet warps in, thinking they're about to launch a surprise attack on Vader's flagship, the horrifying truth dawns on them. They weren't hunting. They were the ones being hunted. And the scale of this ambush is just insane. 15 Imperial Star Destroyers suddenly appear, boxing the rebels in. There is absolutely no way out. This isn't a battle, it's an execution. The fleet is getting torn to pieces. In the middle of all this chaos, as ships are exploding around them, Goku turns to Vader, not as an enemy, but as someone who could help. He pleads with him, appealing to the man he used to be, to Anakin Skywalker. And Vader, faced with a choice between loyalty to his evil master and this strange warrior's plea for compassion, he makes a choice. He chooses to defy the Emperor. And with that one decision, everything changes. We're in the final act now. Two of the most powerful beings from their own universes, now a very unlikely team, are heading straight for Coruscant to face the ultimate evil in the galaxy. They arrive in the Emperor's throne room, and Vader makes his stand. This isn't just turning on his boss. It's him reclaiming who he is. He's no longer just a weapon for the Sith. For the first time in over 20 years, Anakin Skywalker is fighting back. So the battle lines are drawn. You've got Goku fighting simply to protect innocent people. You have Anakin fighting to redeem his own soul. And then you have Palpatine, who's just fighting for pure, absolute power. Palpatine, of course, unleashes everything he has. But it's not enough. Goku, finally pushed, decides that playtime is over. He finally lets go of the power he's been holding back this whole time and transforms into the legendary Super Saiyan. But even that isn't quite enough to stop Palpatine's ultimate weapon, a force storm that can literally rip holes in reality. So Goku resorts to his own final technique. He reaches out with his mind to every single living being on Coruscant, that's 1 trillion souls, and asks them to lend him their energy. The spirit bomb that forms isn't just Goku's attack, it's the will of an entire planet fighting back against tyranny. The Emperor is vaporized, his evil connection to the dark side severed forever. And with his death, the galaxy is thrown into a brand new era of massive, uncertain change. The dominoes fall fast. Without Palpatine holding it all together, the Empire just fractures into warring factions. The Rebel Alliance starts the incredibly difficult job of building a new republic. And Anakin Skywalker, in his final act of redemption, willingly turns himself in to face justice for the crimes he committed as Darth Vader. So what about Goku? Well, his impact was legendary. He saved the rebellion, he was the catalyst for redeeming the galaxy's most feared man, and he took out the Emperor himself. And after all that, he just finds a way to get home, leaving behind a galaxy he changed forever. In the end, this whole story leaves us with a really powerful question. See, Goku didn't win just because he could punch harder. He won because he looked at a monster and saw the broken man inside, offering him a choice instead of just another fight. It really makes you think, is true power the ability to destroy your enemies? Or is it the strength to help them redeem themselves?